What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin. As you can see,
Yes, sir.
Jokes is not here, but we do have a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kurenai Kiba to the show.
Hello. What's good, everybody?
You all are now tuned in to Loaded Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today, Sin,
Today
is National Spider-Man Day.
Oh, okay. I should have done something to Spider-Man. Put on that high hoodie
Nah,
I got.
it's fine.
Okay.
I got enough for all of us. You know what I'm
That
saying?
you do. That you do.
I do. I just had to acknowledge that because I didn't post anything or say anything or any of the above. Zaina, what's up? Heather, what's up? How are you? Doctor Who, what's good? So again, as you can see, Jokes is not here. He's running a little behind. That's par for the course. I feel like you all should know that by now. What's up, Candace? But we have a packed show. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna talk for a while with Kurenai. And then we're gonna get into some of the things that happen in pop culture, like I normally do.
Right.
Frosty, what up?
What up, Frost?
Listen, for those of you who were here last night when we had our discussion about holes for Loading Snacks Movie Club, I want to thank you. We had a really good turnout and we had a really good time.
We did.
And Zero is still the guy. Zero is still the guy. Holds up, does it not, Sin?
It does. It really does.
Okay.
That was a
Excellent.
pleasant viewing. Yeah.
Now, in Joke's absence, you have Joke's job to do, Sin. If you will.
I do. So
Pick him up, Zaina. So Sin is going to get the Beacons link up for all of you so that you can follow us across the board everywhere. It's just the easiest place to figure out where all of us are. So that's right, Frosty. Ho. I'm not gonna say it that way for eternity. That's not what we're doing. But then Sin, you also have your own job to do. So if you would please.
Sure. So let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. We love you all. Thank you so much for being our patrons. We should be getting a post up soon about the question of the month.
Okay.
Question of the month.
Gotcha.
And we're gonna talk about what this month's movie is at the end of the show.
Gotcha.
If that's all right with y'all.
Sounds like a plan.
Until I tell you. All right. So here's the deal. We do have a very special guest. So let's talk about Kurenai Kiba a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Oh, that's perfectly fine with me. I talk a lot. Y'all already know that.
Let's get it in. Let's let the talking begin. Listen, I don't know what the best way to describe you is, because you do a lot of things. So what I want to know is, how do you describe yourself?
Oh, okay. The joke is I describe myself as Jamaican with 18 jobs.
All right.
Okay.
But it's starting to tally up real fast now, ain't it? But I guess the best way to describe myself, because I do a lot. I cosplay. I still write. I'm the con chair for this convention. But even then, I still do fashion design. I do a lot of things too, while I still go ahead and I do full-time Artist Alley all throughout the year too. So it's a little bit of everything. And honestly, I just say that I'm an artist. And then that's normally when my husband chimes in and says, nah, she's being humble. She does all other stuff too. No, shout out.
So is there a is art your first love?
Yes.
It is. What where and
oh my bad. Go ahead.
No. By all means.
when I was younger, what I used to do is that my mom, she would draw the landscapes, and then I would draw the figures inside. It's terrible. They look horrible. She keeps them all. But I've grown from them, I promise. But that's actually kind of how it started. And then from there, I always had at least some means of art, whether I was practicing violin or I would be drawing or I would be painting. At one point, like I went through like a whole charcoal thing, but my parents are very black, so that got messy real fast in the house, and I cut it. Right.
Not
Sometimes
happening.
it just kept kind of always been a constant in my in
Yeah.
my.
You were you in a band?
I was in orchestra all the way from
Mm.
elementary school up until high school, and then I got rebellious, and then I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do this anymore." But I still practice on the side, though. So I
Was
always
that
make.
because it became uncool, or like what? Or was that were you being forced to play and you didn't really want to?
No, actually, it was because of the school that I went to didn't have an orchestra. They were just like, we'll just throw you in here. It was very rural. It was one of those junior, senior high schools there, and they didn't have a lot going on already. And they had a full band, but they didn't have funds for an orchestra as well. So they're like, we'll just give you some clarinet music and then roll with it. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I mean, I might have rebelled against that too. That doesn't actually seem that bad. That just seems like you were like, I'm not going to participate in this thing that isn't really the thing I wanted to participate in the first place.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I stopped in school and then I focused more on like I guess traditional arts too. So I went more into paintings and sculptings during that time while I was going through high school.
Okay, so you are a full-on artist,
Yeah.
cosplayer, business woman. All right. Is are you um are you heavily? I mean, look, I know you're heavily ingrained in like geek culture. What's your what I like to ask people is like, what's your poison? Like, what's the geek thing you can't live without?
Oh, that's hard.
What makes you weak? Like, if you see it, you have to buy it, and like your husband might be upset or be like, you have enough.
Probably Batman stuff.
Really?
Really, really.
Because
Yeah.
you're a DC girl. You told
Yeah.
me that earlier.
That's how I learned how to read too, was with Batman comics too, with my dad.
Oh.
But when it came to it, like normally when it comes to yeah, probably number one is Batman, and probably two is probably Nightmare Before Christmas. So,
Oh. All
yeah,
right, so
right.
you like the dark and brooding kind of Tim Burton-y stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
right. And I'm always smiling and chatting, and I was just like, yeah, I like this really grinchy stuff right here. Have you heard of Joke? Like,
yeah,
it's the opposite.
I dig that. Look who's excited. I'm not surprised,
Right.
but who's excited about that? Paul is like, oh yeah, do you like skulls as well? Because
Right.
Frosty loves
Right up our alley.
straight up.
Yep.
Um, all right, so Batman, Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton stuff,
Yep.
anime, Nightmare Before Christmas buddies. You got a few of those in there. Those Zanas in there.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so since you brought that up, is the Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a holiday or a Halloween movie?
Yes.
Exactly.
Hands down.
Correct.
Yes. And we
Correct.
started doing the thing now too, where we've made sure that we have like a list of all the Halloween movies we want to watch, as
Mhm.
well as Christmas ones we want to watch, and it's always on both lists.
It goes on both lists.
Right.
I dig it.
Right.
All right. Now my question is Die Hard on that list?
Yes, it is. It's on Christmas.
All right. You know what? We're doing all right. You know what I mean? We're doing all right. All right. So what's your favorite anime?
Favorite.
Yeah. Not the best. Not because they're not necessarily the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's too true. I guess favorite anime. I know because I have a current favorite right now, but I have to say
Okay.
probably all time would probably be Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay.
Yeah, I always seem to kind of go back to that one every
Okay.
once in a while. Yeah,
You looking forward to the live action adaptation of it?
I've been burned before. I don't know. I don't know. It's like I'm hoping for good things.
Of course, we always do.
Right? Is that
Yeah.
right? Exactly. It's
Right.
like
Because but as soon as they show the trailer, you're like, I know what this fire feels like. That's
right, right.
that's a
Like I look around, I'm like, the last part of Pandora's box that came out was hope. That's okay. We're still good. We gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see.
Mhm.
And then we actually see it, then I will give judgment then. But until then, I'm just gonna have thoughts and prayers.
Can you give me like a list of the fandoms that you belong to? For instance, there's a giant Pokeball behind you.
Right by my Shadow the Hedgehog.
And yeah. So where where are we? We're a Pokemon person.
Yeah, definitely up there. Yes.
Pokemon.
Yeah. Pokemon is definitely up there.
Sonic?
Sonic, yeah, because I transitioned from just playing Sega consoles just straight to Xbox. So that was the whole growing up process was Sega. So.
That's about what my life was like. Straight out of Dreamcast, right in the Xbox.
Not even Saturn as well, and so it was all from Sonic to at one point it was Earthworm Jim and some other stuff there too. Thrown there. And the only reason that I switched from Sega and I was choosing between PlayStation and Xbox, and it was Psychonauts because of the interesting art why I switched to Xbox.
I dig that.
Yeah, man.
How'd you like Psychonauts 2, or did you not play it?
I did play it. I was very excited. Like the whole house was like, "Don't bother me." Like, I've been waiting years for this. I don't exist.
Like I'm locked in. I'm not here.
Right. Depends on how long it takes me. But yeah, it was really good. It was exactly what I wanted for this whole time.
Is there a thing like, look, we I feel like we see you at every show we go to. I think you go to every show we go to. I mean, you definitely go to shows we don't go to, but like, I feel like everyone we go to, you are there in some capacity, whether you're tabling for yourself or now, about Chroma Kon, which again, we're going to get to, but
absolutely.
So you see, and a lot of people, you're quite familiar within the circles that travel conventions. And amongst those of us who are in this geek realm, well, look who decided to show up. Hey, buddy.
What's up?
Better late than
We were talking about Pokemon and you missed it.
I missed it. Oh, ain't that a shame?
It's okay. We could always talk about it all day. There's so many.
We cannot, though.
You say that.
You cannot.
The Pokemon time allotment is done for this episode.
Yep. We have hit our limit. So what I was gonna ask is, like, is there something you're into, right? Some sort of a fandom or geek thing that like people wouldn't know? Like they couldn't look at your table and tell. They wouldn't, like, if they only ever see you at a convention, like, is there something that you're like, oh no, I'm very much into wheels and spokes or something like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there a thing that you're just like,
no, that is fair. That is completely fair. That's a good question. What am I that's not nerdy? I guess is what you're.
It doesn't necessarily. I mean, it could be something that's nerdy that just people, like we define being a geek by just being really into something. So like if you're really into sports, that's cool. You just a geek about sports then. You know what I mean? So like,
nah, I watch anime and then I get really like excited about the actual sport, and then once I watch it, I go back to the anime. So I just
Yeah, because nobody actually hits a volleyball that hard.
you know, super move for it. I was like, man,
Anime is supposed to be fire for
Yeah,
no reason. They be killing it.
that's a whole different
Lock
thing.
all day.
So nothing you think that people don't know.
I would say probably. Hmm, mm, mm, mm. Probably music. I like to like when it comes to just music in general. I have a wide variety of different types of music I listen to. I get a little bit obsessed with my playlists. So it's
Give
everything
me,
from
give me an example. Are we like super eclectic, or are we like into like one major thing?
oh no, we're super eclectic. So it could
Okay.
be when you at least with some of my friends, once they get into the car, you don't know what you'll be listening to. Is it show tunes today, or is it in German, or is it some random African group that I found in a store one day, or is it anime openings? And that was actually some of the what my nephew always likes to point out, some of his favorite times whenever he gets in the car. It's like, what are we listening to today? I don't know. Whatever.
I find that interesting because as someone who also really loves music, you absolutely refused to do karaoke.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
The opportunity has presented itself twice for you and I in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. And
Both time, I don't know if I've ever seen you Batman disappear that quick ever before. Nope. I'm a ninja.
Oh, yeah.
Not happening.
There's like, no, there's like, if you're in the car with me, okay, you will hear it, but that's it. That's all.
So let me throw this out there real quick.
Sure.
Are you what do you use? Spotify, or what do you use? What's your streaming platform?
Now it's just Spotify. I went ahead and I dived a little bit of a few of them, but I just got the most bang for my buck with Spotify.
So here's what I'm gonna propose right now. Can you go into your phone and grab a playlist and share a playlist, like grab a link and drop a playlist in the chat, so we can see what you're listening to.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be pretty dope. And while you're doing that, let's transition a little bit into Chroma Kon, because we absolutely have to talk about Chroma Kon, because Chroma Kon is your con.
I love it.
Look who's excited. It's Ron Van Blake. What up, Rod?
How you man, that's so great.
What prompted you to decide to do your own convention? We don't even have to get into just like why is it called Chroma Kon and all that just yet. But like, what prompted you to feel the need?
That was actually, it was a natural transition actually. I used to do sales and events for a comic book museum. Then before that, I used to do that for Marriott, for like a few like Marriott hotels I used to work at as well. And it was just one of those things that I've been doing it for a while. And as I was going to so many conventions, I mean, you see me there at all the other ones. I'm like, there's certain things I'm like, I love for all these things to happen in Baltimore City. And I noticed that whenever, like, of course, no fault to any of the, of course, to Otakon leaving, but it was one of those, like, there is definitely a hold
space now.
Yeah. So, but of course, no shade to Oda, because I love going every year. I literally just came back and we were singing the praises the entire ride home. And it was just such a good time. But it's one of those where I'm just like, it'd be nice for the people here to have a convention here again. So that's actually why we started Chroma Kon. We wanted it to focus on artists, creatives, and have it be just as quirky as Baltimore City is.
If you'll do me a favor, send and look at the chat. I just dropped the link for tickets for Chroma Kon. If you would share that to the group, I'd appreciate it. So Chroma Kon is happening next year, March 1st through 3rd at the Hilton Baltimore in the Inner Harbor. What made you? How'd you pick the name?
Oh, well, that is because I'm an artist, and I always love, especially when it came to any medium that I choose. I love really experimenting with color,
Dig it.
and it made sense to have it focus on chroma, the 2Ks, because of trademarking, and
Well,
as well as the fact of Kurenai Kiba has 2Ks. So
mm-hmm.
that's one of
Dig it.
those in line. Yeah.
I dig it. So talk to us about like what we can expect from Chroma Kon. Let's get the people a little excited so they know what they're coming to. What we just told them to get tickets for. We just put the link up. Let's tell them. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. So there's a lot of things that we're already starting to organize and plan now for it. We have a few guests. I know we were talking about One Piece earlier off screen. We have one of the three voice actors that was ever Tony Chomper coming, as well
oh,
as the voice of Genkai and the voice of Kurama will also
Okay.
be there. So for the little bit of the older fans that are into Yu Yu Hakusho like we are. Um, but we made sure that not only is it just for anime folks, we wanted it because it's pop culture. We wanted it to hit everybody. So we have a little bit of anime, we have a little bit of comics with Jordan Clark, who's a part of the Milestones Initiative
yeah,
that just got kickstarted, and he's coming, and he's also local, um,
yeah.
as well as we're talking with video games as well with Tiana Camacho, who is in Street Fighter 6
Mm,
voicing, and I'm so excited. But not
yeah.
only with that, we're also working with a few other people as well, um, that we'll have special events there. I've actually not allowed to say it yet, but I just signed an exclusive screening, so we'll be having a special screening there as well.
That's
As
dope.
well as special
Okay.
events with other really fun folks. So honestly,
Dig it.
it is so packed that I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, I'm so upset that I'll be missing this because I'll be running around with my head cut off,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
trying to like put out small fires and keep things organized. And that
Yeah.
was the main goal. I want cool stuff that's so cool happening that I'll be mad that I'm missing.
That's what I was gonna say. You
I
created
mean,
a problem for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's dope.
I'll
Give
catch
yourself FOMO from your own
Mhm.
convention. Is
right.
I mean, that's the way to do it. You know what? Here, like most of the time. I mean, again, we do a lot of conventions.
Yeah.
Most of the time, a lot of the time, I shouldn't say most of the time. A lot of the time, first time or first year conventions are only a single day. They're short. They're only a single day. So having something that is the first, second, and third is big. You know what I mean for what you're doing. So I know that there's a lot on your plate, and I know you have a really solid team.
Oh my
Uh,
God, my team is so cool. I swear, they are the best. Because when it comes to certain things, they have been making miracles happen in the background. I'm just like, there's something I'm like, damn, how do you do that? But I'm like, I
no,
just,
that sounds like a really good time, Zay. Yeah.
oh yeah. I was like, y'all gonna get sick of me saying thank you, but I really appreciate them.
I
From
mean, I can tell you have a solid team because I think the last 3 times I saw a Chroma Kon booth, I went to the booth looking for you and you weren't there. That
I
tells me
know,
that you have a solid team. That really does. That tells me you have a solid team and you got people that you really trust, that you can
Mhm.
trust, right? And that and on top of that,
mm-hmm.
people are coming to us going, "Yo, did you talk to the people at Chroma Kon?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like a year ago." like yeah. But the fact that like I don't see you at the table and other people are coming to us going, "Yo,
Oh,
have y'all heard about Chroma Kon? Are y'all going?" Like that. Again, that tells me that one, you have something special, you know what I mean, brewing. And two, that you do have a really, really solid team. So even though they're not here and I don't really know them, like
mhm.
kudos to your team, right? And kudos to you for picking a solid team. That's super important.
Ironically, half of them kind of came to me. They're like, "So when are you gonna start your own?" Because I'm ready.
Really.
Right? I was
Mm.
like, what? I was like, nah, I don't know. But then honestly, I was like, nah, let's do it. Let's go for it.
Okay.
Let's do it. So
Okay.
half of them were just like, why are you playing around? Because we know that you are. We know that you've
Right.
been thinking about it for a while. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So that's
Is
actually
it
amazing.
are you nervous?
No, actually, I'm like really hyped about it more than anything
Mm,
else about it. And I
yeah.
know that it'll probably be like maybe like a week out. That's when probably I'm like, all right, good. The nerves are here. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
like, because there'll be
Yeah.
little here. I'm just like, this hasn't been delivered yet, or this person hasn't returned a call. This one hasn't responded to my emails. And it'll be little things like that that'll pile up. And that's probably what'll make me nervous.
Mm.
I'm
I
like,
dig it.
for now, I'm coasting. So it's actually
Yeah.
yeah.
I dig it. Well, I want to make sure that everybody go and follow Kurenai Kiba. Follow Khroma Kon is easy to do on Facebook. They're on Instagram.
Mhm.
So, follow everything. Again, the link for tickets is already up. So it's in the chat. You guys can jump there and check it out. Look, it's a really good deal. It's a really good deal. We're talking like $80 for all weekend is
Oh yeah,
pretty incredible.
yeah.
And having just told us what's already coming, and then knowing that there's a surprise you can't talk about just yet.
That's
Mhm.
even more
That
exciting.
I'll try to pry out of you once
You're
we're
gonna-
not
you're
live.
gonna- you're gonna
Let me shut down
you're
the
gonna-
show. Trying to hit that inside baseball.
I almost shut it down right away. We'll be back.
Just give us a minute. We'll be right back.
And then come back with that look on your face like, oh, I know something you guys don't know.
Mhm. There's some things y'all don't know. Yeah, listen. Please make sure you all follow. We know that we have a really good strong following of our own. We have like the best who tune in every week, and they are supportive.
Yes.
They are supporters. So
Mm.
you got some folks that'll back you up for sure, and we'll be there. So I'm super excited about it. All right, hold on. I just got a text. Double check the link. It's not working right. Let's try this again. I'm gonna try it again. Let's see what happens. I don't know. All right, this is what I'll do. Here we go. This is what I'll do. I will I'm gonna send you
Crazy
just
enough,
the direct.
it worked for me.
Maybe
Click the-
maybe it's that MacBook she's using, but I don't. Here's the link directly to just the. Don't be like that. Y'all know how I feel about Apple. I pay for a lot of Apple stuff. I just don't use it personally. I just sent you the actual link directly to the Khroma Kon website, so you can put that up, and then you can get everywhere from there. So how about we do it that way? Which I'm sure that the bump to traffic would be nice for that too. All right. So listen, are you gonna hang out with us while we talk trash about things that are happening in pop culture right now?
I would love to.
Hey.
Let me tell you how you have no idea.
Buckle up.
Nah, you know what? But first and foremost, the first thing I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about Otakon because we were all just there.
We were.
So I want to talk about Otakon 2023, what our overall thoughts were. I was there Friday and Sunday, but you all were there all 3 days, right? All three of you managed to get there all 3 days. I had to slide out of town and slide back. So let's get some thoughts. Sam, I'm going to start with you. Give me some of your overall thoughts and impressions about Otakon 2023.
Outside of it being hot as hell, I had a really great time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they did their thing. They kept everything separate, which you forget about when you come there after all year long with Artist Alley being on one side and the vendors being there. Like, okay, cool, that's their thing now. But I thought the guests were great that they had. I'm really excited about some of the interviews that I got to do there. I can't wait for those to come out and y'all be able to see and just hear the information like that I got from Studio Orange and Studio Trigger, just some insight of how those studios work and how they, just do certain things their way. It was a great time. Also got a chance to sit down with the director and the producer of Bastard. Probably one of my favorite interviews because they were just so cool. And just the questions I asked, they were just going for it on. Like, I really had a good time doing that. Overall, I had a great weekend. Otakon always hits. I always wish, would have stayed later, stayed more, but we got to get up early to get back to the ground and get stuff. I'm going to do it all again. So hopefully that might change next year with the 30th anniversary. Might, get a hotel out there, something. We'll see. Just
the hotel, buddy.
Yeah, something like that. But no,
I don't think we have a choice, bro. I don't even, I'm not, anime is not even like my thing the way it's y'all's thing.
Yeah.
And I'm all weekend I was like, I think we have to get a hotel, bro.
Was that?
Yeah, like looking around, like there's so much I want to do outside of what we do while we're there, like just to go and experience and stuff like that. So getting a hotel down there might be what the move is next time, just to be able to do that at the same time as doing what we do when we get out there. So yeah, had a great time.
You should do it. I was like, there's so much happening all the
time.
Yeah. Just from like, even when it comes to just like random parties just popping up in one of the hotels nearby to the late night events that they have there.
Yep.
It's just, I mean, we always get a hotel every year. I was like, because we know ourselves. We're going to.
Yeah.
Artist alley all morning. And we're like, no, we're going to party at the end of it so we can see everybody. That we didn't rush around to try and get around. But
yeah.
Definitely.
It's a tough balance. Like, I think, we may have to like find a way to excuse ourselves in the middle of the day somehow to like upload things and like get stuff edited. Because that's generally what a lot of that time ends up being is, getting stuff uploaded and kind of figuring out, okay, well, we have this. Let's kind of, and putting together like a schedule for that kind of stuff. But we can work around that. Like, my oldest is with me on Sunday.
What up, Kidlet?
Hey,
like, Kidlet, you told me you weren't coming. I'm so glad you showed up. She literally messaged me earlier and was like, tell everybody I love them, but I'm sorry I won't be there. I'm like,
now there's the question. Hey, there's the question.
I didn't get stepped on.
Do the people want to know, or does Candace and Sam want to know? The Kidlet want to know? Nah, Sin didn't get stepped on, because if he had, you better believe you would have seen it already.
What? They've been on the gram so fast. Stop playing with me.
Actually, that joint would have went live. I'd have been like, you can't do this.
When I'm going live. But no, I didn't stay late enough on Saturday to get to the debauchery portion of the evenings. So that didn't happen this time.
That's partially because he's getting too over that. I know Frosty wanted to know. Hey, listen, here's the thing. We can probably get Sin stepped on anytime we want. We don't have to wait for Otakon for this to happen. So, like,
put the word
if y'all are telling me to start like a Patreon tier,
for me to get stepped on,
stepping on Sin tier.
Listen, we can make it an OnlyFans of Sin getting stepped on. Patrons get early access. Like, we can make it happen.
Early access to get stepped on. Sin.
I have no problem getting Slim stepped on. Hey, before we go any further and I get your impressions, jokes, one of the two of you, if you could grab Kurenai did send me her Spotify playlist, so I put it in the private chat. If one of y'all could grab that and drop that in the chat, so we can see what a Kurenai Kiba playlist looks like. Let's go find out about eclecticism. Too bad Waterman wasn't there to get you. Listen, the problem is that they don't do it in Baltimore anymore. It's in DC. And Ice Cold Waterman doesn't leave.
Doesn't leave more.
Hey, if he came up there, he'd have cleaned up.
How does it was out there?
It was so hot.
Oh yeah,
it was so hot
enough. Like early in the morning, like 7 a.m. or something like that. If you're still down there by the stadiums, he still runs around it every morning. Rain, hot, cold, whatever. He's still out there doing his thing. So I'm like,
he's pretty serious.
Hey, listen, I just pulled that playlist up, and you know what? She got substantial already in that list already, so I already know it's supposed to be fine.
But I can tell you that immediately when you got excited about the playlist, I thought you were going to tell me there was Creed in that joint.
Hey, shut up! Shut up!
This playlist is extra special because this was actually the first time that not only did I do this, but the entire board got together to make this playlist happen. So you get a little bit of everybody in this.
Hey, look,
there's
Gundam in this list. Bleach is in this list.
I mean, it's the Chroma Jam's official playlist. Like this,
we got the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Jones in here. Like,
like I dig it.
Hey, this don't got, and this more. Good God, what? I'm at 250.
He's
I'm
having a
still
moment
going
right now.
Hey, I'm still going. I'm in the 300s. Hey, listen, this
That's
don't
because
go
the
on play.
playlist has to last you for all 3 days of the convention, sir.
There you go.
This
There
is
you
it
go.
right
You know
here.
what I'm saying?
There you go.
Right?
That's it.
Right? Now, when it came to this one, it was pretty funny because I was like, okay, as long as we make sure that, you know, we have a little bit of the people that are also going to be featured at the show. So as you're listening, you may actually get some of those folks to actually be performing live at Chroma Kon.
See, that's dope.
Oh, so this gonna be the official Chroma Kon playlist.
Hey, this
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
I can put a bug in
Right?
substantial.
They
See?
filled it up in under 24 hours. I came back to the Discord. They're like, boom, we already got it. And I looked at it.
476 tracks.
Is that a private Discord or is there an open Chroma Kon Discord?
There will be an open one a little
Oh,
later
wondering
on.
that.
Right now, it's just private for just the department heads.
Gotcha.
All right, I dig it. Make sure you let us know when that happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pull up.
Joe,
Mm-hmm.
Otakon. How was it for you?
It was pretty good. Like, I honestly, Sin hit the nail on the head. Like, there was something as much, of course, as anime. There was something there for everybody, depending on if you were like, they had the whole Macross set up. So for those that have been into anime for a very long time, that was really cool to see. For me, I've never actually watched it. And it's something that I do want to watch just for, I love mech anime. So that I feel like this is one of those that I feel like I should have under my belt.
Yeah.
So many different panels. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to step foot in any of the panels, but there was a little bit of everything that was inside of that. The guests were solid that they had there for it. You know, it's just when you have your vendor area and your artist alley, you go on both sides, you see things that you like. It's kind of like, I want to buy this, but then I want to buy this, and then I want to buy this, and you don't know which way you necessarily want to go before you start spending all your money. But but definitely, it was a great time. Great energy as usual. You know, didn't really no negative vibes or anything as we're walking through, interacting with a lot of people. You know, as usual, we have our friends, we have our normal people that we see every time we go to cons, but then we always talk to somebody new, and talking to somebody new, same thing. You get good vibes, and it just you get those deeper relationships, better partnerships, and things that you develop there. But it was an absolute blast of a time.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Kurenai, from an insider's perspective, right? Because you were tabling.
I was.
So how was Otakon for you?
It was great. It was great. It's this was actually the first time that I actually had an artist alley table there since it left Baltimore. So this is my first time.
Okay.
And it was amazing. I got a lottery table too, which what it was is that at 10 p.m. on Friday, what they do is that they auction off like or not really auction off, but you had to basically raffle off for the last 3 tables this year. And there were like 16 people, and I was able to grab one of them. So missing a day, I still made bank there. And it was really, really nice. It was really
That's dope.
Yeah. So I'm like between that and I had one panel that I share with one of my friends called Dress Forms for Dummies, where we literally make a dress form right there in the middle of Otakon. It's a whole workshop that lasts like 2 hours. And yeah, so like when you see all these like duct tape, like torsos, like like leaving out of a room, like that's normally us. So
that's dope.
That actually went really well too, and that was a full room, so that was really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I love that. I have to talk to Lacey about that. Like Lacey is like, again, shout out to Lacey and her team for like handling tables and you know, all of that kind of stuff. We try to make sure we always visit Lacey at whatever conventions we go to that we know she works at, because we know that behind the scenes she helps make sure that like the people we care about at tables like yours get taken care of. So that's cool. I didn't know that they were doing like a raffle for tables. That's pretty dope.
Oh yeah. It was really nice between that one, and then she also helped us out with the Chroma Kon table. Like she assisted us in getting the Chroma Kon table as well. And I'm just like, man, right after Blurred, Like, when do you sleep? I know I do.
Yeah.
You sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Right.
real.
He's a beast.
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
Overall, I thought, I'm sorry, Otakon was really dope. We we spent a lot of time in the press area. Won't be as great as Chroma Kon though. I'm a sucker for local people cons. I dig that, Andrew.
Yeah.
That's what's up. You know, we do so many conventions,
Yes.
and I'm gonna tell you, same thing we told them.
Hey,
Press ops at Otakon is
They built different.
the best.
built different. Sin, I think you just said.
Yeah, that team just built different.
Right.
They're incredible, bro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're incredible. The way that they have press stuff sectioned off, the just the amount of contact that you
Mhm.
have, like they are. You send an email, they respond immediately.
Mhm.
You have
Hey, listen,
questions. they have
I'm not
answers to-
expecting to get emailed like during the middle of the night. When we were on having a meeting, and we thought about something, and I shot an email to him. I'm like, we ain't gonna find out probably until like the morning or something like that. And while we're having the meeting, I'm like, oh, y'all, I got the response back.
Yeah,
And I was
'cause
late.
our
too.
meetings are late. Yeah, I mean, when we have our meetings, they're late. I mean, we don't start our meetings until 9 o'clock on a Sunday night.
On a Sunday
Oh,
night.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if you're not expecting to get a response, to an email you send to somebody when it's probably 10 or 10:30, and they're just like, oh, boom, here's the information. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They have a really, really incredible team, and just what they do, the way they set people up, the space that they carve out for press to like have a place to go and sit down and like type up stories or send off emails or put stuff together. Yeah. Just a brilliant waiting room area. They always provide like snacks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
We about snacks. So
What?
like
It's in the name.
yeah, so it just they're just really, 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 really good about stuff like that. And like we had like one interview that fell through. We sat in the room, we waited for about 15 or 20 minutes while we worked on some other stuff, and then they came back and said, oh, the person canceled their interviews, they can't make it, or whatever. And we're like, all right, cool, no big deal. But then on the flip side of that, in the middle of the night, they're just like, hey, the president of Odacorp is available from this time to this time. Do y'all want to do it? Sure, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That email came to me at like 11 o'clock.
The
Yeah.
name president. Yeah. I mean, that's 11 o'clock at night. They shoot it. And here's the thing. Again, we kind of pride ourselves on being malleable and being able to kind of just jump and change and do things on a whim.
Fair.
But
Yeah.
even with that, we're in the room waiting for the interview, and Alice, who's like the head of press ops, is apologizing to us for sending the email so late. And we like, yo, anybody else would have, we would have never got that email, or wouldn't it, like, it's just honestly like
That's so
dealing with press at Otakon,
That's
especially for me, because I'm not as into it's harder for me to get excited about the things that are happening at Otakon the way Sin and Jokes get excited about the things that are happening at Otakon. I'm looking at the aspects of how things are running and how easy it makes it for us to do those things. Now, don't get it twisted. I can interview anybody about anything because I don't have a choice, which did happen, by the way. Because I'm gonna be real with you. Again, we got that notice at the last minute, like we're doing the interview with the president of Odacorp.
And already had an interview at the same time.
Sin had a separate interview at the same time. So Sin leaves the room to go do that. Jokes and I are just talking or whatever. And then I looked at him and I was like, you're doing this interview, right? And he was like,
I was like, I thought you was doing this job.
But that's again, they're just great. They're super great, man. I always enjoy. They make for us Otakon so easy. So simple. They give us a great place to go. We're able to completely avoid the convention center.
Oh my gosh, it's so great getting in and out. Oh my gosh.
Completely like it's like we ain't waiting nary a line.
Oh yeah,
Not nary a line.
I
If
can't
listen,
do that anymore. I'm not built for lines no more.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Nah.
It's too hot outside.
Nah.
We're here for Otakon, not Line
Right.
Con. Thank you.
Right. For real. I'm over 30. Nah.
Hey, look, I got that press
Right.
pass. I walk straight to the front door. Y'all is not getting me to stand out here with all this. Nah, bro.
Let me tell you something. Sin was on a mission to make it known every time we left press ops to go back into the convention. Oh, I don't walk through the metal detectors. Shorty, I'm pressed.
Every time, bro.
They be like, well, now y'all gotta check y'all bags.
Nope. I'm pressed, bro.
Hold on.
I gotta check nothing.
They just like, all right, that's cool. Come on.
I was
come
like walk through and just like multi-pass. Multi-pass.
No, that was us too. It was funny too because I was walking with my team, and then at one point I tried to do the polite thing, get online. But no, come here. No, we're not doing that. No. We all got full faces on. No, we'll melt. It's time to go to the.
We gotta go inside.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We gotta set up.
Yeah. Like Zayna said, the shock that she felt just like being able to just walk in.
And it's funny, we all said that had that realization at the same time. But hey, bro, we ain't never going in the original way again.
Never walking in. Listen,
No.
I'm gonna hate every other convention that's in the Washington Convention Center.
Oh,
That's not Otakon because they made it so easy.
Hey, where y'all Hilton interest at? That's where I need to go in at.
Yeah, I'm not ever, bruh. You won't wait. You tell me I can wait in line that's wrapped around the building and going through the convention, or I can go into the lobby of the hotel that has a Starbucks in it. Stop playing with me. I go in that door no more.
Right.
It's easy.
I'm rolling with my drink. Yep. No.
Yeah. That's over. All right, so check this out. I snuck out, went to go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today. I wasn't expecting to. I just kind of on a whim was like, let me check and see. I'm sitting at home anyway. Let me see what's going on. They had like a 3:00 and it was like 30% off. And I was like,
Why not?
might as well see what's happening. So I have some thoughts.
oh no.
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing. I think it's a good movie.
But
It's not for me. These are not like
gotcha.
I like these turtles. I do. I like the turtles. I didn't necessarily love the story. I definitely don't like the backstory. I'm firmly against this backstory.
Okay.
I think I realized today while I was sitting in the theater that like I knew ninjas hadn't really been cool for a long time. And Ninja Turtles became popular at the tail end of the height of ninjas being the greatest things that ever came to America. Like so much so that like we had American Ninja. Like we just decided like there's got to be a white boy ninja. My boy Donnie, mind you, did not go today. This statement is based on social media. Listen, let me tell you something. Shout out to Donatello for wearing purple and being a BTS stan. That's all I'll say.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. Again, the movie is enjoyable. This movie is for a different generation.
Okay.
But like
For teenagers.
they are, and which is cool, but they focus more on them being teenage mutant turtles than they do the ninja part of it, which for me is always the coolest part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the ninja part of it. And again, I realize ninjas aren't really cool anymore because nobody has taken the time to make them cool. Like
Naruto.
Naruto doesn't count, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I was about to say, wait, what?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because Naruto ninjas aren't real ninjas. They're anime ninjas. It's not the same thing. They're like it's almost like saying
They're anime ninjas.
it's not the same thing. Like I know that quote unquote they do ninjutsu, but like if you take Naruto and you compare Naruto to the Foot Clan, like the Foot Clan is ninjas, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And like the Ninja Turtles are trained in the art of ninjutsu. They don't. There's it's not the same thing, bruh. Like it's not that there isn't mysticism and so forth in ninjutsu, and when it comes to ninjas. But we're not talking nine-tailed fox, bro. We're not talking people who have sand powers. We're not talking, you know what I mean? Like the only real ninja in Naruto is Rock Lee.
Yeah.
Like,
Rock Lee, a Mike
I'm
guy.
just saying, like, I'm just like for real. Like when it comes to that, like we're talking like ninjas, bro. Shokasugi and Nine Deaths of the Ninja and Ninja Turtles are kind of in the same place. Compared to like what Naruto is. It's like think about it. Naruto is to ninjas what you literally just said sports animes are to sports.
They're fire.
They so if you go and you watch the volleyball anime and then you try to go watch volleyball, you're like, I don't know, right? So like now,
100.
if you try because of something like Naruto, not necessarily because of Naruto, but like if you try to really make ninjas and like even in video games, stealth isn't even cool anymore. Technically, like there haven't been real stealth games in a long time because Tenchu's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like they start making a Tenchu game, they change it to something else because it needs to be everything else From Software does. So ninjas just don't have the same pull the way they did for what they were. The next closest thing we actually have to a ninja in pop culture is Batman.
Right.
To what they were, which is why they put them together. And then I'ma still always have issues with them not being able to beat Batman.
He whooped them.
As a team. As a team, they couldn't beat Batman. Stop playing with me. Like, get out of here, right? And like, I know Shredder is like supposed to be that guy, but like, him and Batman kind of toe to toe, and I'm just not, but it's very different. So like, the one thing that I'm willing to give away in terms of the story and the way that this set of Ninja Turtles is set up is that there is no real ninjutsu kung fu background for them. Like Splinter has no kung fu background where he knows it and teaches it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They learn, like, listen, they learn from YouTube and kung fu flicks.
Okay. My thing
So
is,
not rocking with that.
They brought it into this.
Yeah,
time
but
frame.
I get it.
I get it.
I get it. But yeah, that'll rub me
I
wrong
get
way
it.
too.
I don't, because don't you have the voice of Jackie Chan as him? I'm just like,
You do. And the one thing I'm willing to give them is that at least one of the kung fu flicks they were watching was a Jackie Chan joint.
Okay. That's
Okay.
cool.
all right. Okay.
Which one was it? Not that it's Jackie. Just curious.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just like it's like a montage. You know what I mean? So it's like
took a couple
and
things.
it is literally intercut in the animation with live action of that stuff. Listen, there are things all throughout the movie that are really dope. The music is incredible. The cuts in the live action stuff that they do, like when they actually do cut to some stuff that's live action that is really dope. Yeah. There's a moment in the middle of the movie where they're in a fight and one of the turtles lands in a car and accidentally turns the car on, and when the radio comes on in the car, it's Vanilla Ice Ninja Rap. Like this.
Yeah, I heard that was gonna be in it.
You know what I mean? Like it's cool. Yeah. At the same time, what they did do was they really made it in origin in terms of like they rewrote the origin story, but like when they get into a fight for the first time, like the first time you see them get into a fight, it's literally their first time in a fight. And they're literally like, yo, we never been in a fight before. We don't know what to do. And it's not until they start getting in that fight that they realize that all the training they've been doing actually is good, and they are good, but they don't feel like ninjas. They don't have that art. They can't get in and get like they show a little bit of them like doing some stuff like that, but it's the the reimagining of some of the characters is cool. They definitely dug deep for characters like Mondo, Gecko, and so forth. And there is an after credit scene. I won't spoil that for you.
Okay.
And I'm probably gonna see it again because I went without my children and they want to see it.
Oh,
and
they
so,
want to see it. So that means round 2.
because my man Donatello has a BTS ringtone. So I guess we gotta go see it.
Yeah.
I do like the personalities of the turtles.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the direction that it goes in. It's just a different story. And I didn't need any of the origin story for real because, again, it's 30 years old, bro. Like, I just didn't need it.
Yeah.
But it's there. And again, it's being introduced to a new audience and they're creating a new backstory. And for them,
Oh my God,
they don't know the difference. There was a little boy in front of me, dog, that was having the time of his life, bro. Slim was gang. I'm talking about Slim was giggling and just pointing and like having the time of his life. And I laugh at stuff. I enjoy stuff. I'm singing along with music because they listen. They playing ODB in that joint. There are joints and it's like all the music is from our era, but the story is for them.
right?
There's like little to nothing that feels anything like any music came from here, and I think that's just Seth Rogen old, and so is Ice Cube. So that's what we doing.
They just brought that along with him.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think if you're a huge fan and you can deal with the changes, I think it's worth seeing. The animation is beautiful. The style of animation and what they're doing with it, even if you don't necessarily like the kind of hard curves and stuff like that, on some of the art style or whatever, like the shapes that they're using, there are moments in that joint that just look incredible. Like it's really cool to kind of see them do a different take on the art style, the kind of colors they use, the palette. It's very like chalk / like it looks like chalk drawing. Like it just it's very different, and I have a high appreciation for that. And they probably never would have even gone that route if it wasn't for something like Spider-Verse. You know what I mean? Having hit. I have a high appreciation for April, because she technically is a love interest in the film, but she's not typical what you see, look, shape, feel, like none of that. And she's still the love interest, and I love that for this film and for this generation. It's something they never would have done for us, for our generation. You know what I mean? So, it just, there are really, really great things about it. And the fact that they're already talking about, like, it's supposed to be turning into a TV show.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with a writer and an actor strike going on. But, like, that's
the plan is for it to become
right.
A TV
that's the
show
plan.
well.
We'll see. Yeah.
Right.
We'll see how things unfold.
All right. Hey, we'll see.
Yeah. Let's take a moment. Let's talk about Miss Marvel. Because some things are happening. Bear with me for a moment. Let's get this. So, if you're following the MCU, if you watched the Miss Marvel TV show, and you are well aware at this point that at the very end of the last episode, they basically outed that she's a mutant, right? That her friend found something different in her genes, said it was a mutated gene, and then they played like the theme song.
The actual theme song. Yep.
She's a mutant. Well, they are now doing that same thing in the comics. So what you're looking at here is a panel from the Hellfire Gala, X-Men the Hellfire Gala, which is just came out like this week or last week. I am not going to spoil what happens in this. I'm just
please go read that. Please go read that.
Soon as I saw it, I said, I had jokes. I'm like, bro, just watch this. Just watch what they just done with the X-Men.
It's it gets pretty real quick.
Real quick.
Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, in Amazing Spider-Man, they restarted the Amazing Spider-Man run last year.
Mm-hmm.
And in that run, Kamala Khan had become an intern at Oscorp, technically working for Peter Parker. And long story short, she ends up dying at the end of that run. She sacrifices herself to save Mary Jane, no doubt. And as she's dying, Spider-Man reveals himself to her. She removes her mask. They reveal to each other who they are, kind of thing. People were upset, and it's understandable. That got leaked before it happened, like 2 weeks before the issue came out. People were very, very upset. What they have done since then is, prior to that, when they did the whole retcon of what was going on with the X-Men are now in a place where they're able to resurrect themselves. Any mutant, technically, they can resurrect. And in this book, on the page before this page, Cyclops is talking with the White Queen, and this is supposed to be 10 weeks before this happened. And they're talking about the need to let her know that she's, and then it cuts to this, and she says a mutant. So there's a couple things happening with this, and we're gonna dig into it a little bit. They are not, what's important is they are not retconning her story. Yes, she is a mutant, but she is still also an Inhuman. She is both. And in that panel, if you watch it, they say, we didn't even think that was possible.
Mm-hmm.
She's clearly not going to be the only one. Iman Vellani, who was Miss Marvel in the show, is now writing a 4-part comic talking about this in and of itself, along with some other people, including the original co-creator, Sanaa Amanat. So there's a lot that's happening here. It is clearly going to affect the MCU because the mutants are coming. And as far as we know, she's the first one that we know. But they also outed that Wolverine exists in her show.
Right.
People are upset because in the artwork for this comic book, as she's come back to life, she has more white features. They have toned down her look, and she looks less like she has traditionally throughout her comics runs. And so there have been a lot of complaints about that. There were complaints of anytime a mutant has been reborn, they pop out of like these eggs and they come out naked. She comes out in a robe, which I think they were trying to be respectful of that because for who she is, she's supposed to stay covered, and she always does stay covered. So I think people were upset because she's showing skin, but I'm like, well, they didn't make her naked, and I'm pretty sure they didn't do that because they were at least trying to cover her in some way. People are always going to complain about.
Doesn't matter. It's gonna. Yeah.
There's always gonna be somebody unhappy.
Yeah, but people are definitely upset at like her nose is very pointy and pointed up and not wide like it used to be, and things of that nature. And, we'll see how it turns out. Jokes. How important do you think this is in the grand scheme of things? Like in terms of like Marvel and comics and MCU.
I think it's going to be a big play. Like obviously, mutants from the MCU standpoint, obviously for the Fox reasons beforehand, they couldn't use mutants. They couldn't do any of that. So I feel like the hope is they're trying to find a decent way to fully introduce us to the mutants without just somehow just hitting the switch like, oh yeah, here's mutants. Like I feel like they're trying to at least build it to a way that makes sense. Miss Marvel, obviously, I felt that was a good, solid way for the MCU to introduce her. I've said once before, Wolverine, like the Logan story, I think was flawless, and I don't want them to really go back and change that. It's why I said I think maybe the Wolverine we're getting in Deadpool maybe is the one from like the 90s show, animated series. Somehow with the multiverse and all of that going on, like maybe he's being pulled from there, because I just don't want to see them necessarily undo Logan. Like I think that story was perfect and you can just kind of let that be. But I think just overall, though, I think it is going to be a major thing for the MCU, especially if they're going to somehow try to intertwine. Like, we know the universes are technically, there are two different ones. So maybe it's like a quick little crossover or like a universal thing to do. So yeah.
Kurenai, I know you're more of a DC person than a Marvel person. How did you know about any of this? Does this matter to you at all?
Oh yeah, I still read comics. I still read. I always pick up a Batman comic first. But yeah, no, absolutely. When it came to all of this too, yeah, I could tell. Like when it came to like a lot of the Anglo features being on there, I'm like, okay, all right, fine. But when it comes to just her in general, I agree with Jokes too. I think it's one of those where it's like we're trying to just do our best to kind of dance around this legally, so it can actually kind of stay consistent, or like to at least like try and like continue building a story before we instead of just like hitting it over the head with all of a sudden we're magically available again.
Right.
So I do agree with Jokes with that one.
They're just like, you wanted mutants, you got it. Like they just
all they do is just give us the X-Men back, like the core X-Men. Like Gage, we've had this conversation numerous times. Like, we don't need the same core team to come back. You have so much more mutant stories that you can tell.
100%.
So
I don't want any of them. I want all new folks. All of them.
All right.
I don't like one or two of them can be like older and be like, I don't know, teachers or whatever. Like, that's cool. Like, you can have somebody in the background. But as far as like a team and having them just let's get busy, like, I want brand new people. I don't try to replace. Don't give us a new Wolverine. Like, just don't do it. Like, they could, and there are people who I think could pull it off. But like, considering that he's been Wolverine for 20 years,
yeah, I was 2 decades.
You know what I'm saying? And like every other character has been replaced by other people. You know what I mean? Like,
he's the only one that didn't do that.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, again, obviously there are multiversal reasons, and you could get away with it. But like, yeah, I don't need them to give me another. I just don't need another. I definitely don't need a Cyclops. I don't need another Jean Grey. I'm good, bro. Like, I'm real good.
Cyclops can stay down.
I'm glad we got Colossus kind of in Deadpool, but like, it's not for real. I would allow another shot at Iceman, like, for real though, like a real Iceman joint. But that's it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, I had enough. There are plenty of shapeshifters and so forth out there that like we'll be, you know what I mean?
You want to put them in there, just have a list and say like this was who was on the team and acknowledge that they exist, and then just throw the paper away and let's move on to our next team.
You know me, I just want a real Rogue and Gambit.
Yeah,
and I'm happy.
Yeah, and I'll take that.
I'm happy.
That I actually would be okay with too, because we never actually got.
Yeah.
We didn't get.
We didn't get my Rogue. We didn't get my Rogue. Give me the Southern Belle with them hands, baby. Come on.
We got a Remy LeBeau, but it was
but it's not my Remy LeBeau. Come on, nah.
It didn't get flushed out.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like, facing the fact that we have a Captain Marvel, so we can actually get a Rogue.
Yes,
that's all. That's all I'm saying. Like, if they do that, bro, if that happens at the end of the Marvel,
I was about to say that's that.
I will lose my ish. Y'all give me my Rogue.
Listen. She's gonna be like somewhere just eating lunch or something, talking, and just Rogue just comes out of nowhere for whatever, just grabs her. How you doing, Captain Marvel? Not realizing
Southern twang on it. Oh my god!
Like, thanks, sugar, and then that's it.
Yep,
that's it. Yeah. Oh. And listen, and that's what it will probably be. It'll be that subtle.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, sugar, and then we all know what it is, and it goes to a black screen.
It'll be an accident. Like, she won't, like, Rogue won't know she's a mutant yet.
Yeah,
and it just having to sit down, and she'll go to like shake her hand. Oh, Captain Marvel, I'm a fan. Blah blah blah, whatever. Touch her, hold on so long, and bam, that's it. You know what I mean, or something like that. I'd be good with that. Fan fiction, y'all, we do it.
She thinking Captain Marvel for whatever reason is like a fan of her. Like, man, I'm getting weak. over here.
Yeah.
Like, nah, it's just all that. But I
Yep.
can't stand up though. What's going?
Oh,
Yeah,
sugar.
nah, she gonna pass out. Somebody gotta be able to put her down. Look, I can see her getting those powers. I hope y'all watch Secret Invasion. I can see her getting those powers from
Gaia.
Yeah, we had that discussion. Yeah, we did.
For sure. All right, so look, since we're already talking about the MCU, we might as well just go ahead and do this, and then we can kind of get ready to get out of here. Prepare yourselves.
Hobie? Hello? We have a little bit of a situation we wanted to run by you.
Mobius! Wow! Great to see you again! That's
That
what's
like
been
didn't feel
happening.
good.
There's something familiar
Time
about that
slipping.
too. I was thinking about when I saw that.
You know that?
Yeah,
You've seen that?
yeah.
Can you fix that?
No. It's impossible to time slip in the TVA.
I know, but we just saw it happen.
Yeah.
I've been pulled through time between the past and the present.
Hello?
If what I saw is true, there's nothing to stand between this world and utter destruction.
Only one way to find out. Little good old-fashioned legwork. Listen, we have different styles. You're a man of action, which is fine. I take a more slow, deliberate, cerebral approach. It's really goodbye.
It's up to us to save this place.
Is this cracked?
But
Whatever we do, we're playing God.
We are gods. But how do you choose who lives and who dies? Make the hard choice. It's him.
You better run!
War is on its way.
Come on, you're the god of mischief.
Always have been. Always will be.
A little over the top, don't you think? I thought it was spot on.
October 6th. What's going down? Sin, your thoughts?
I'm excited for the next installment of everything Marvel to just fill in some gaps and know what's happening. You know, next Loki wasn't one of my favorite ones, you know, of the previous shows that we've had so far. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm just, you know, okay, cool. Like I said, I didn't care really for the first one all too much. So I'm looking forward to just seeing where they're taking this one and how we're implementing, how we're still playing with time in here and just how all that kind of stuff kind of unfolds because we're so in this multiversal era right now. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, just like I said, didn't care for the first one, so like that. So you know.
I dig it. What about you, Jokes?
I'm completely opposite of Sam. I love the first season of Loki. Like I thought they executed that really well. I'm eager to see where this is going to take us. If they can continue that good streak of what season one did. Clearly, at this point, the Loki seems like he's going to be like the linchpin for where everything is going to fall apart. Like the big thing is going to happen, and of course, Loki's going to show back up with like some of the Avengers or whoever, and it's going to be like, wait, I am not that Loki. Hold up. But I feel like that's where we're going to keep building to. Like, I don't know about you guys. Like when we saw Loki, like time out or whatever they called it, the first thing I thought about that joke reminded me time slipping. That joke reminded me of Spider-Verse and how they were glitching out, even though they didn't necessarily disappear and go someplace else. So maybe, you know, because it's
I would just like to say I'm a very big fan of the mullet she's
Hey.
rocking. You like Sylvie's mullet?
but
I'm gonna get you a wig.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Please please keep this good because like the MCU shows have started to slip a little bit. Enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but slipping a little bit.
Kurenai?
I'm on the same page because I also really enjoyed Loki, but mainly just I was like I always really enjoyed like a good like time, like where you're really kind of manipulating, working with that sort of thing. So I always kind of did that. So when it came to the first season of Loki, I burned through it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And I seem to veer more towards the shows now than to the Marvel movies. Maybe just because the movies are just a little bit too formulative for me right now, as opposed to the shows. It seems as if there's a lot more kind of a lot more care going into being just a little bit outside the box. So honestly, I'm really excited for season 2. I'm really excited for season 2, and I'm ready for Kang to whip more ass.
I'm with that. I'm with that. I mean, look, I'm excited about the season. I mean, the trailer looks really good, so I'm on board with that. I think that it's been a long time since we've really even thought about these characters and what's going on with them. You know, I don't know, man. Miss Minutes dressed in a sheet as a ghost and growing chasing people is a little strange. I don't know. But I really liked Mobius as a character. So I'm interested to see what that, where that goes. Ravonna Renslayer. I know it's supposed to be a bigger player in things, so I'm interested to see what that means. And having had Ant-Man already happen, and knowing what we know about Kang now, I'm kind of excited to just see how this is affected. Andrew's asking if we get a Thor cameo. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Neither do
I don't think so. I do think. I mean, I don't know if we get a Thor cameo. It's possible, but I would think if anything, we get a cameo from somebody like we got Lady Sif in the last season. She kept punching him. She kept he got stuck in that loop, and she kept showing up and hitting him. I mean, I can certainly see somebody else from that world showing up. I don't think we get Thor though. I think they're gonna hold on to Thor and kind of keep it reserved. And then we'll have to see what happens. Again, I don't want to spoil Secret Invasion for anybody that didn't see it, but there are definitely implications that come out of Secret Invasion that leave New Asgard as a place on Earth really bad position.
Yep.
So I think it's going to get really interesting really quickly. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it overall. I'm excited to see where it goes, and we'll see what happens. I mean, it also is interesting to me that this is happening prior to getting the Marvels, and so while coming out of Secret Invasion, they drop a new trailer for the Marvels, and you can kind of tell that some of that is they're going to be important to one another because there's going to be Skrulls. You know what I mean in the Marvel. But the fact that we're also going to get something that does involve Kane and Loki and time and all of that stuff, while the three of them are bouncing back and forth and going through space portals and whatever else is the fact that we're getting that before we get this movie, 1 month out from that movie is interesting to me. And if that show is October 6th and it's 6 episodes, that show drops November, the weekend of November 9th, 10th. So that means they're going to run into each other.
Yeah.
Right? Technically, I think Loki would still be running when that happens.
Calendar now. What's the release date for the Marvels?
November 10th.
Yeah. That's going to be real interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-week difference. So if there's traditionally they've been doing 6 episodes.
Oh, and you know what else is weird too? So that's coming out on the 6th. That's a Friday. So they've now switched it back to Friday because I remember they made that whole thing about switching it to Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
However, I think Ahsoka starts at the end of this month,
Right.
right? And maybe it's running Wednesdays
That
through,
could
but
be.
they're also dropping, I think, the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's not going to run into it, but they're probably just doing that thing where they don't want it. Like they want one thing to be Fridays and they want one thing to be Wednesdays or something like that. Like who knows? I can't figure out what Disney's doing.
No.
But again, also there's a writer strike happening and there's an actor strike happening, and like they can't do any real promotion with the actors and so forth right now because they're not allowed to do any of that. So all of that still is kind of in flux and remains to be seen what happens as far as that's concerned. Look, let's wrap this show up. It's been a long show, but it's been a good show. So first and foremost, Jokes, you have a job to do. If you would get that Beacons link fired up again one more time for me, I greatly appreciate it. And then behind that, if you could get the link for Chroma Kon back up one more time for everybody, just in case we've had some people jump in who weren't there at the beginning. Let's make sure we do that.
Thank you.
Of course. We have a few things that are happening coming up soon. So Loading Stacks Movie Club movie of the month this month is, why you laughing, Sam?
This is gonna be hilarious.
Why you laughing, Sam?
You know why? Because I already know what it is.
Because it's Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite.
Let me tell you something.
Blaxploitation. Here we come, baby.
We have to do a watch along for this joint. Somehow we're gonna make that happen. We had a good discussion yesterday.
So lit for the watch along. This will be hilarious.
To talk about that. Man, if you have not seen Black Dynamite, you are in. Ooh, you are in for the best, worst time of your life.
I'm gonna be so terrible watching that. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I'm gonna be terrible.
It is, man. All right, I can't wait to break this movie down.
Oh my god!
Leave it like players. Leave it like players. Yeah, Frosty. First time. Let me tell you something, Frosty.
Frosty don't know what she is.
Worst movie of your life. It's gonna be so good.
Oh my god.
I said, this is gonna be a problem, but it's gonna be so good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Yeah, you should be excited because it's gonna be terrible and so good,
bruh.
So good. All right, so yeah, movie of the month is Black Dynamite. We don't really have any conventions this month. We get a little bit of a break. So we'll just be working on some other content for you guys so that we can get some stuff up. We have a lot of content that still has to come out from Otakon. So there are interviews scheduled to go out tomorrow and continuing on. We have interviews from Michael Blacklight, interviews with Substantial, which is like, let me just keep it a buck. It's kind of less of an interview and more of us just kind of talking because it just kind of happened that way. Because we see him all the time.
That makes sense.
He's super cool. Super cool. Yeah, so there's still a bunch of stuff to come out of that. We're working on those things for you now. We are working on some new panels. We have some new panel ideas. We're working on some things that we want to bring to the people that we think you all are gonna fight over, and we are so here for it.
Hey.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm trying to start a fight. I'm trying to start a riot. I'm talking about like I want to get in people's feelings about what's good and what's not. So yeah, we got some stuff planned. Look, we're already working on Extra Life. If you would like to join us Extra Life this year, it's live. You can go to Extra Life's website and search Loading Snacks. You can join the team if you want to join us to help raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's coming up in November, but we're gonna spread it out again over 3 days instead of doing 24 hours straight like we used to. We are too old for that. It is past our bedtime. Frosty hates the 70s. Nah, maybe a little bit. Uh-oh, there it is. Manhammer. Manhammer. Yeah, so I know Frosty is gonna make sure that hammer is pushing anybody out who doesn't belong. Loading Snacks movie. I mean, I'm sure we can make one. I'm down. I'm down. I don't know what it would be about.
Yeah, that's gonna be the.
That's what was going on in my brain just now. Like, which way you trying to go with this?
I'm already scared because Sin getting stepped
Sin
on
already. Yep.
Hey, the name is Sin. Okay, I go to dark places. That's what I do.
Facts. So look, Karen, I do hate the 70s. Really?
Hey.
That's so weird to hate a decade specifically.
Right.
Like I got
Right.
things about.
No, that's all right.
About it.
Yeah, don't start. Yeah, let's. Yeah. Karen, I want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us tonight. It's been wonderful to have you.
Thank you, bro.
Definitely.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're super duper busy all the time, and you're being so calm and cool about it. Like you don't have things to go do. So I appreciate you faking it for us right now.
No, that's how I normally am. What's another 5 jobs? We're good.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That can tell you.
I remember Frosty. I remember.
You definitely said it. I'm aware. I just don't. I mean, we
got
can
to suss that one out.
Frosty,
We got to suss that one out.
Frosty, why don't you come on the show next week and let's just talk about the 70s? Let's do that. I'm down. We could do that. Talk about the 70s, specifically what it is. Matter of fact, let's just have a decades conversation. We'll do 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Oh.
Wait.
Yeah, it'd be longer than an hour and a half.
Not everybody can talk about that. So we'll pick a decade. We'll figure it out. It is. I know. All right. Well, that's fair. That's fair. She's like, I'm gonna go play D&D.
Right.
All right, Jokes. Thanks for doing your job. Sin, you have a job to do.
Yes, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbaye. Thank you very, very much. We truly appreciate it.
One more time. Y'all so special. You get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the show.
That's right.
Again, thank you, Kurenai, for joining us. We're gonna get out of here. We'll be back next week. Again, keep looking out for that content. We got a lot of stuff that's coming your way. So just kind of keep your eyes bare. We're like 4 subscribers away from 900 on YouTube. So if y'all could just go make that happen. Please. I don't care. Just go pick up a fake joint and I don't know. You know what I mean? I know y'all have more than one Gmail account. Switch to your other Gmail account and subscribe from that joint. You lying if you don't have more than one.
That way you get double alerts, so you'll never miss anything.
Go find one of our favorite videos of yours and just share it out. You know?
Yeah. Some of y'all got Gmail accounts with your first, middle, and last name. First name, middle, initial, last name. Some of y'all got joints that are like my spam emails at gmail.com. I don't care which. I just switch and go. You know what I mean? Hit that button. I appreciate it. We're gonna get out of here, but before we do that, exactly, I have to have Jokes tell y'all something. Jokes, can you tell the people what I need them to know?
I can. Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
Facts. With that, we're out. Toodles and lose.
Loading snacks.